What was it about 300, about playing King Leonidas that just, attracted you to this?
Well, it's just it's an awesome role and an incredible story, and just everything about it. I knew I was going to play a guy who, you don't make many guys like this, and in fact, they don't make many people like the men he leads individually as well. So to stand in front of them and have to deal with what he has to deal with, there felt something very eternal about it, like this was a moment in history that would never be forgotten, and he was the man responsible for that. An element of destiny, and an element of just being a badass. I'm not saying I'm an angry person. I think it has a lot of the Scotsman in me. It's not difficult to get that fire out of a Scotsman. I think it's in our blood. We spent too many years fighting like the Spartans. And I think it passes down the line, so that was an easy part. The problem is honing that and making it skillful, because if you just run around raging, even when you're fighting, it looks awful. You have to keep that strength and that power. Yes, yeah, there was, but in actual fact, that was not a difficult part of the film, because when we knew it was all green screen, the whole place is just covered in green. Actually, it was blue. And so it doesn't require a lot of extra work, not like the old days, or if a film just had one scene. It was such a long process. There weren't really any hold-ups for that, and it was all in the same studio. So there was a real controlled element. In actual fact, we could get through things. We did this film really quickly, like 60 days we shot it.
Tell me about, it was 8 weeks of training. How'd that go about?
I'm sorry, not 8 weeks for me, it was 7 months for me. Because that's the thing. I think after 8 weeks, and I could have got in pretty good shape, but after 7 months, that's how you get like I did eventually, because you just keep stepping over little barriers where you think, okay, I would honestly think, right, I can't get this. This is great, and then the next minute you'd be like, oh wow, I've surpassed that, and then you're enjoying it, because I'll never be like this again. So you think, well, how much more can I push it? And that was the Spartan element. It was the mind conditioning as well.
And did you realize you're going to be so naked in the movie when you started off, and was that uncomfortable, or how would that go about?
I can't remember at what point that was either explained to me or I realized. I often find in films that something comes upon me and I think, that was so obvious, why didn't I even think of it? And by the time I got the job, I knew. And so by the time I got the job, I'd made too many promises about how I was going to blow this role out the water, and that I thought, okay, now I actually have to, stand by my word. And yeah, it did feel a little idiotic at first, but after a couple of days of everybody laughing at each other, it then started to grow and become part of the personality of the character. And really, to put that on, when I put on that costume, I felt like Leonidas, like a lion, which is what Leonidas means.
Do you realize now that you're going to be a geek icon after this role?
A geek icon?
A geek icon, yes.
I'm hoping to take the geek out and just be an icon. In fact, I am, I think. No, I'm joking. No, I try not to think of it like that, I keep it as simple as this. If I can perform really well and people get what I do and be part of a film that in actual fact everything matches up, I'm really happy with what I did in this film. But then along came Zack Snyder and took it so far into another level. So if anybody's to become an icon out of this film, it should be him, because really it's his genius that made this film.